people, the interest of the state or the people? Masyado siyang malawak sagutin. Diba? Kasi, in what context? See? In what context? Kaya yung matutunan nyo class in political theory will help you a lot in understanding the relationship of the people to the state. Diba? And of course, that would bring about human behavior then. See? Kaya yung sa political sociology, it's more of macro analysis. Okay? Hindi siya basta lang say if you are asked, how would you explain the Filipinos behavior towards the present administration? And how would you also explain Philippines as a state, di ba? As far as its relationship to its people. Di ba? And here comes the issue of interest. Whose interest you should protect? Is it the people or the government? Diba? Dito na papasok yung mga, say, ideologies, political theories. Diba? Yang kayo, halimbawa, sabi natin ilan sa inyo, na very active sa political participation. Ang iba, wala lang, okay lang, just a passive listener, passive watcher. Ang iba sa inyo, active sa, makisalamuha, makipag-interact, even the social media, masyado pang, that is understandable. Okay? But how would you explain that kind of behavior? Yan ang focus din kahit paano ng political sociology. Diba? Kaya when it comes to political sociology, you cannot just discount it. Okay? Because your understanding of politics, okay, also matter. Your understanding of the kind of government that we have also matter. Okay? Halimbawa, ikaw, mahilig ka mag-post sa social media attacking the government. Well, that could be explained, diba? That could be explained why, diba? And good for you. Because this is the kind of government that we have. Diba? Had it a different type of government, you cannot do that. Ngunyan, magsawa ka, atake digdi, atake duman, criticize dito, criticize doon. Of course, you can do that. Diba? You can do that. But just like what I've said, it's so often that this is the kind of government that we have. Had it been a different type of government, you cannot do that. Diba? You see how human behavior would adjust to the kind of the system of government that we have. See? Kaya yan ang kahit paano titingnan natin sa political sociology. Ano nga yun? Diba? You have learned in your first year, our social laboratory is the society. Okay? Kung ang natural scientist, ang laboratory nila ay Yan yung four corners ng isang room. Diba? Sa atin, ang social laboratory ng sociologists ay ang society. Okay? Now, when it comes to political sociology, we will confine ourselves to understanding human behavior as far as politics is concerned. Okay? Our relationship with the state and the state to its people. Okay? I'm not discussing formally, I'm just giving you a bird's eye view so that it is one way for you to be prepared, as we go on with the next topics, Okay? Yan class ang tingnan natin. Okay? So, we will just limit ourselves to understanding human behavior as far as its relationship to the state. Okay? Kasi nga, sabi natin, for the sociologist, its social laboratory is the society. And the government is one of the basic institutions of the society. Okay? And just like we have learned before, the government is just one of the institutions of the society. But I tell you, this government that we call institution always have an impact to our lives. Diba? Aber daw, challenge ko sa inyo daw. Challenge ko sa inyo lang, Is there any instance in your life that the government is not with us? Yan ang challenge ko sa inyo. Sabi daw, is there any instance in our life or anybody else, is there any instance wherein the government, okay, the state through the government, magkaiba yan ha? Magkaiba yan. The state through the government, yes. Ay, hello. Yes po, Dagos Tabi. Ay, sorry. I will. Habasit po. Okay. Sige.
Sir, yung sa ano po eh.
Opo.
Sabi ko kayo, yung din ako kay Sir Edgar. Sabi ko po, kung sino yung offering, kung po mag-pen na,
ang offering?
Opo. Daw kami po ang naghahandal ng sabi. Kasi po, yung program learning outcome po, galing po sa department.
Ano pa rin
Kaya ako rin po, dawa sir nasa economics ako, bago po order na yung student accountancy. Department sir po accountancy.
Ano ba sa mga ito? Di ba may studio? Yan, ang masense ko yan. Si department chair ng kasi yung subject na especially talagang sila na kaya gusto ko
kaya nagduman din po ako kay Sir Edgar. Kasi yung tama po ako ng class sa engineering incident sa duman po kami program sa engineering data.
Ayan ang practice sa inyo?
Opo.
Pero dito, wala ko pero practice talaga, yan ang kung sa'yo nalit na
Subject naman po.
sabi ko presidente na siya. Kaya pag-isa doon sa
Sa mga estudyante ko sa
naman po yan, pero kung hindi na po ito magka, ano yan, question siya.
Ay, siya man po.
Yan ang magiging,
Yes, yes po.
dilemma. And, sir,
Yes po.
Kaya mo yan ang custom practice.
Yes po.
Kaya mo kaya ba?
Kayo po, kapag nag-meeting daw ako kayo sa BPA po, pwede kayo mag-clear.
Dito? O sige po, in case lang, anyway, for the meantime, pwede mo naman.
Yes po.
Oo, siguro dapat talaga pag-aralan ini, urunan ini. Heyo. Kumusta ang pagiging AD?
Ako lang po, kaya nag-delete po yan. Dati po, bago ka mag-book ng klase, nakabobler na lang ako sa mga yan.
Dakulo kitang gibuhon. Daily ka dito?
Ano po?
Daily? Nag-report?
Minsan po, pero pag may klase po ako kayo po hindi online. Sa harap po ako, pero yung nag-alternative student.
So DCICT baga?
Marami niyan po.
Nyata ito, daw.
So, router po naman na pabalitan lang ako ng NPS sa kanila.
Kaya dapat maano din ta. So, mga taga DICT ta nangyari. Di kami nakaka-access kay ano baga. Dakulo na tabang ito. Lalo sa kay Bangko Digdi. Si Professor Giripa. Masyado siya nag-rely sa DICT.
Marami din po ako sa
Oo.
si ano man po, bisita na ito ang technical.
Maray man po ta. Aning maayos na siya.
Kaya po. Salamat po.
Kaya nangyari. Nakakadama siya kung sa isa.
Salamat po.
Okay, thank you. Okay na. Wala ng tao. Ano ba yan? Sino na tapos? Ano na tigataram ko sa bago? Tira kita. Ano na nga ni? So yun sabi ko nga ni baga is that the social laboratory of sociology is the society. Now, like what I've said, the government is part of the institution, and of course, I ask you a question, diba? Is there any instance? Can you think of an instance, class? Can you think of an instance wherein the state, through the government, through the government, wherein they have never been part of our life, diba? Ganon. Is there any instance? Can you think? Magkaiba ang estado ha. Take note of it. The state is different from the government. Iyo man agad anong difference? Ano yan? Ano sa tingin nyo? Kala nyo, gobyerno? No, are you dealing basically with the government? You are dealing with the state. The government is only its agent. Diba? It's only an instrument. Diba? Can you think of any instance? O may mga instances ba na wala sa eksena ang gobyerno, ang Estado, through its government in our life? Sige nga, can you think? Oh, ano, Christian, meron bang instance?
Mostly, sir, affected po ng government, especially pagdating sa policies, rulings, and also restrictions. Kahit yung mga, sir, mga simpleng bagay when it comes to decision making, affected siya ng economic status natin and different aspect which government affects it as a whole. So parang wala, sir, masyado.
Wala masyadong ano?
Parang lahat, sir, affected ng government. From micro to macro decision making. Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, ibig bang sabihin, palaging nandyan ang government sa atin?
Opo, sir. Pero hindi naman po kasi directly. Parang yung effect nila, nag-transcend siya into policies or restrictions or even nagbe-bridge siya. Hindi talaga siya directly. Parang nakadepend siya sa policies na meron na parang indirectly affected yung buhay natin ng decisions na meron yung government.
Okay. Or who else? Who has an idea? May mga instances ba? Meron ba mga pagkakataon sa buhay ng tao in our life na hindi man lang sumagi sa atin ng government? Sabi ni Christian, meron. Diba? Nandyan. May epekto. Lalo na daw sa policies, decision making. Directly or indirectly, yung presence ng government nandyan. Yan ang mensahe ni Christian. Diba? Meron pa iba?
Meron pa po, sir.
Who would like to share? Si Samson, Paul. Sige, Paul.
Okay na po, sir.
Yes.
Ay, sir, I think yung instance, sir, na not involved in government is that when pag-make a decision private.
Ano yun?
Decision making po sa private life.
Ano doon?
I think, sir, hindi na, sir, kinukonsider yung ano po, sir, government or
Hindi na covered ng government?
yes, opo.
Okay. Pag desisyon sa private life, no longer covered by the government. You have to justify, you have to expound of what you mean by private life.
Opo. For example, sir, when choosing a flower, between a flower and an orchid, sir.
Hindi ko.
When choosing between a flower or an orchid, sabi ko,
Choppy ka kaya eh.
opo. Kunwari, sir, ako nga, sir, magtatanim ngayon ako ng flower. Tapos, ano yung itatanim? So that does not include the concept of government, state government.
Ano is pagtatanim ng
Kunwari sir,
flower?
opo, when choosing between na ano po, flower, a flower or an orchid sir,
Okay.
or ano po, or kunwari sa private life, when choosing between the
So yun ang instance wherein the government is
yes, opo.
outside of our life. Okay. Sige. Sige. Tingnan natin. Take note of it, ha. Yun ang instance wherein the government is outside of our life. Are you saying it according to all right, ganito. You were able to say that maybe because of the kind of the government that we have. Because when you say it, you are at least indirectly or by implication telling us that it's part of your freedom, it's part of your liberty to plant whatever you want to plant. Diba? Because for you, that goes with your right. Diba? You see, it's not a simple, it's not just a simple saying of you just plant, you can plant. Diba? Because by saying that you want to plant this kind of flower, well, going if you are going to dig deeper, perhaps you are trying to kumbaga send a message that it's part of your right, di ba? You see, and that right is something that you derive from the state, di ba? And that right, okay, is basically recognized by that state. You see? And considering the system of government that we have, you might also perhaps say that that is part of your human right. You see?
Okay,
You see
opo sir,
that?
thank you po.
Di
Opo,
ba?
salamat
You
po.
see? Hindi siya simpleng hindi siya simpleng sasabihin lang na uh, okay, you want to plant something like this, like that, and then this time you will say the government this time is outside, di ba? You see, ang question is, paano pala kung iba ang sistema ng gobyerno natin? Can you say that? That's the question this time. What if we have a different system? Aberda, sabiya daw sa kuya, pwede ka sana magtanong, kamuya mo gusto mo itanong. Don't you know that there are systems of government wherein they could even dictate the things that they want you to do, even against your will. You see? Yan ang pag-aaralan natin. That is political sociology. So basically, in political sociology, we try to understand and explain political behaviors. Okay? Political behaviors. Oh. Kaya going back doon sa yung kanina sabi ko, ba? Ngayon, you are at liberty to say anything you want to say. You can criticize any public figure. Oh, you can even use the streets and shout. You can even use effigies to mock any face of a government official. You can do that because that is the system that we have. Diba? That is your political behavior. Diba? Pero yung tanong ko nga kanina, what if our system is different? Can you do that? Precisely no. Diba? Oh, dito na nagmamatter yung political theories nyo. Diba? Kung ano ang na-imbibe mong kaisipan, paniniwala, theories, principles, perspective, just like what I've said, diba? If as you learn in your first year like that, diba? Yung mga abstract ideas, yan ang mga factors na nagmo-move sa isang tao. Diba? That is the moving factor. Diba? This is what I believe in. And that is the reason why it is reflected in my action. Diba? You see? Whatever is your principle, it is reflected in your actions, in your behavior. Diba? It's hard to do something that goes against with what you believe in. Diba? Yung pagka see? Political sociology. Diba? Para klaro talang ha. Distinction ng political science and political sociology or sociology in general sense. Ang focus of study ng political science is basically the government. Okay? The government. Now, when you talk about the government, of course you talk about power. You talk about systems or forms of government like that. Okay? You also talk about laws, you talk about rights like that. Okay? Now, when it comes to sociology, diba? Like what I've said, and as you learn, the focus is basically society. Now, if you are going to ask which one is broader, of course, sociology is much broader compared to political science. Why? Because the government is just one of the institutions that we study. Diba? The government is part of social institutions of the society, and we study the society as a whole. Okay? Yan. So, if we go back, to our previous discussion na. Okay. Yung sociology is related to other social sciences because sociology can also tap other social sciences, especially in understanding or explaining human behavior. This time, the focus is political behaviors. Okay? Kaya, when you talk about political behaviors, dyan pag-uusapan yung political participation, yung mga pagpara-intran nyo sa social media, Oh, ma-react ka mo, red tagging, di ba? Oh, that is political participation. Oh, why you react so much on that? Di ba? May pinaghuhugutan ka. Di ba? You talk about rights. Di ba? Oh, whether you are in favor or not of the so-called red tagging, it has something to do with your political relationship with the state. You see? Oh, political participation. That is political behavior. Ano pa? Political socialization. O bakit ganyan ka? Halimbawa, why is it that these people are like that? Why is it that they are very fond of using the streets and shout there? Diba? Why is it that these people keep on criticizing the government? Diba? Oh, that is part of political socialization. Paano yun nangyari? Oh, that is one thing that we are going to discuss. Diba? You see? Again, in political behaviors, you talk about um, political recruitment. In relation to that, we have the so-called political communication. Di ba? You see, if you are going to understand your behavior towards the state, dito na pumapasok yung political behaviors na sinasabi natin. Di ba? But before that, before we proceed to discussing this concept, we have to understand first the nature or concept of the state. Okay? Kasi yung Estado, yung konsepto ng Estado, yan ang hindi malinaw sa karamihan. What they know is about the government. Okay? When in truth, and in fact, the government is only an instrumentality. What they are dealing with is the state. Di ba? Oh. Di ba? They keep on attacking the government. But in reality, they are attacking the state as a whole. Di ba? Aron ka iyan. No, so, we have to understand first about the state. We have to understand the concept about power, concepts like authority, legitimacy, okay? We have to understand that muna, no? Dapat malinaw yun sa atin. And then we will proceed to these political behaviors that we call. Na? Yan. You see, ata na kung face-to-face na ini,
Sir, naka-off po ang mic mo.
Oo nga. Sayang lang siniram ko. Di man. Um, so yun yun ang picture what will transpire in the course of our discussion. Okay? Important yan, class, na maintindihan natin yung political sociology because sociologists, if you are asked, okay, especially if you are asked to explain or to give an opinion about of what is going on in our country, in the international community, like that, at least you know how to respond. What is important is these things, these concepts, okay, are clear to you, So, in political sociology, you try to understand politics in societal context. Okay, take note of it. If you want to understand politics, then you have to understand it, okay, according to societal context. Diba? Ito yung politics natin. Okay? Because this is our society. This is the kind of society that we have. Okay? This is our politics. Now, and since this is our politics, somehow, our behavior would also coincide with it. Diba? See, so at least I'm giving you a picture, so that when we proceed to the nitty-gritty of the concept or topics, then di na tayo masyado mahirapan. Okay? Online class, of course, tayo. I will try to meet you at least once a week. If I have vacant, if I have vacant time, I will meet you. But like what I've said, even before pa, you know my situation, okay? It's not only teaching ang concern ko dito. That's why I'm here. Diba? Ayan na nga tad-tad naman ki reports. Diba? So this is the challenge on my part. Okay? Maripasin na ka. Focus lang sa teaching. Ako or some of us here, may mga other designations. Kaya expect, you have to expect that there will be time, class, that we will really not meet online, Expect that. Anyway, on my part, I will inform still just, I will inform just if we will have an online or not. Okay? Nanginayangan niya ako nung socio of deviance. Masyado tayo na limit doon. Tingnan natin pag fourth year nyo, maybe with your Madam Dali, lahat ng mga subjects in one subject, parang sort of lang siya, not necessarily review, okay. So yon, online, activities, about activities. Activities. Homework. Ako. Mas importante sa kuya ang online lecture. I will give you also activities, pero hindi siya draining na activity, ano. Yung tama lang. Yung activity na yung feeling baga na ano na hindi ka maiinis. Di ba? Joke lang. Tama lang, no? Readings. Let me see. If I have readings, then I will just send it to you, ano? Yan. Any question, by the way? Concerns? Inapuda na ako ni Sir niyong Rafael. Mag-snack daa. Anyway, it's almost 4 o'clock. Any question, by the way?
None po.
You may, by the way, when it comes to reference material, I do not prescribe any specific author or book. Okay? Just you may surf the internet. Anyway, I will give you concepts to study before we proceed to the discussion. So you may read in advance, the concept of the state, concept of power, authority, legitimacy. Basahin niyo na in advance yan, and then we try to discuss it and clear out confusions on it, diba? Okay. Yeah, concepts of power, concept of the state, konsepto konsepto ng state, by whom, yung state from the political science point of view, state from the legal point of view, state from sociological point of view, power from what point of view, power, Weberian power, di ba? Remember yung Weber's concept of power, di ba? Anyway, I give you the floor, I give you the floor to research on it. Okay? So if there is no more question or suggestion, clarification, iliwang ko ha kung mag-create pa akong Google Classroom. Kasi kung mag-create ako ng Google Classroom, usually, the Google Classroom, in my opinion lang ha, i-create siya, kumbaga dinesign siya for more activities. Oh. Yan ang ilikwa iyan. Google Classroom are designed for activities. Diba? Of course, we can also meet online using Google Classroom. Diba? Diba? And I do not create group chat. Pwede mo akong mag-create group chat on this subject, ditong subject na to. Kaya lang, hindi man ako nag-join. Useless, wala akong isipin, ano. Yun man lang. So, pira iyan. 24. How many are we? Kumbaga kita. So iba-brown out. Brown out sa inga. 42. 42 all in all. How many are we? 24. Baliktado. Ayun natabi ha. By the way, pauso, thesis mo baga, thesis nindo. Hindi ko pa namabasa.
Okay. Kung ano, pwede man pumunta po.
Try ko by Friday. I-try kong Friday evening na
Apa.
try ko kung sige basta with this week ano ko siya
Apa, sir.
basa kung ma-defend na ka mo by February ang defense nindo
Mga third week po siguro po.
Ay, yuta, bata si John Ray, excited na ito. John Ray, number 1 ka mo ma-defend. Amo na. Sige.
Po.
Bye-bye.
Sige po, sir. Ingat po, ingat. Salamat po.
Thank you po, sir.
Bye, sir.
Babush!
Thank you, sir.
Ayun.
Thank you, sir.